Chernobyl, then Fukushima, and that's it. In reality, that's not true at all.
Alexander, it's the 30th anniversary since the Chernobyl nuclear disaster this week. Now, the long-term economic damage is expected to be over $700 billion, not to mention the human suffering that carries on till this day. How does Green Cross try and help with that situation?
Well, actually, Green Cross has been involved in the remediation of the consequences of Chernobyl disaster practically from 1993. Right after the creation of the Green Cross, it was one of our longest programs. In fact, of course, we cannot substitute the activities of the state to do the necessary works, but we work with the people on a human side, social, medical side of the disaster. Also, we try to raise awareness about that situation, because practically people are thinking, okay, just two disasters for all the history of the existence of the nuclear power, Chernobyl, then Fukushima, and that's it. In reality, that's not true at all. Because if you will consider the real list of the disasters which had either casualty, human casualty, at least one, or economic impact over $300 million, then you will count more than 100 disasters, accidents like that, through the history of the nuclear energy existence. So we're trying to prove that this doesn't work, because the argument that it is safe is not correct. The argument that it is economically efficient is not correct if you take into account the needs for dismantling the nuclear power stations after their service time. And if you take into account the necessity to deal with the waste management, nuclear waste management, the price of the kilowatt per hour is much higher than it is recognized officially. I can tell you that this year, for instance, European Union will have to pay, it's already officially published, roughly $230 billion for waste management. That means the bill, which was originally budgeted for $120 billion, will be bypassed twice, more than twice. And that is actually invariant in dealing with the nuclear waste. So economic efficiency also doesn't work. And cleanliness of that raises some doubts. So what we are doing, Green Cross is helping people in the zone of the disaster, both in Chernobyl and Fukushima. We run special facilities to help children from the affected areas, to help families to recover from the disaster, to diagnose what parts of the land that they live on are contaminated and which are more safe to use. And also we are putting together hearings, public hearings. On some occasions, for instance, recently we had in UK a public hearing with participation of the members of Parliament of the United Kingdom. It was a month ago, something like that, on Hinkley Point project, which is the new nuclear station which is planned, which is very controversial already now. That's what we are actually doing on this area. So if you have any questions, please go ahead.
So you've already mentioned Fukushima as a reference there to nuclear disasters, but what does Green Cross try and do to combat nuclear power as a source of energy?
Well, actually, we think that the only possibility today is the renewable energy, or the new sources of energy, like photovoltaic, like wind energy, like geothermal energy. There are many, biofuel, etc., etc. Well, actually, recently there is an organization, IRENA, which is the international Organization for Renewable Energy. They have presented a very interesting report saying that only doubling the share of the renewable energy in the mix of the used energy twice by 2030 will allow us to save up to $3 trillion annually only on that measure. Today, the mix of renewable energy is roughly 10% of the energy consumed in the world. So we need to go up. And the price makes it practically even efficient and economically profitable. Because today the prices for renewable energy has gone down 150 times since the year 2009 only. So it falling down exponentially. With the prices of oil even down today to roughly $45, it's practically already competitive, I mean the renewable energy, with these prices. So I think this is the real future and not the nuclear power. And again, the nuclear power, for instance, one of the reasons why Hinkley Point in the UK is criticized today, that it ties up the subsidized price which the taxpayers will have to buy at a level which is already higher than the renewable energy. And that will be for 25, 30 years ahead. With renewable energy going down, and it's clear the trend which is unstoppable, this is a pretty unwise option for the UK government. So we are trying to support the renewable energy as the solution of these problems, and also the solution of the climate change, of the Paris Agreement, which commits us to certain levels of emissions.
Alexander, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, it's always a pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Be sure to keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV for more exclusive interviews. We'll see you next time.